imagine how I felt listening to that set. She's outstanding, polished. But I'm talking about her, talking about how old she feels. I got underwear on older than her right now. Right this fucking minute. I'm a grandfather, and I'm real proud of that. I have 3 grandchildren. My grandson Oliver came into this world 7 months ago, and I couldn't be more excited. But I got to thinking, you know, when events like that happen in your life, they make you compare and look back. And I thought about my grandparents, and I know I'm a lot cooler than they ever were. You know, my grandparents were from Ireland. They were 60, both of them, the day I was born. So by the time I could be bothered by them, they were 70. Anyone else ever have to go spend time with their grandparents in the summer? Like, I don't know if my grandkids do it with me, but not a week. I went to their house, and let me set this up. They were 70. I had a mentally challenged Uncle Dickie upstairs in his bedroom reading Archie comics. And then 90-something-year-old Aunt Maggie, she kind of looked like Norman Bates when he played his mother. She had an old wooden wheelchair and a cloak over, and me. Now, I thought my grandparents' house smelled funny, but I loved it. You know, it was like a lot of good memories. But I found out it was mold. And I remember I ran into mold as an adult, and I go, I smell Archie comics. I thought, but I'm there staying with them 1 week, and I heard a commotion coming from their bedroom. I'm a little kid. I stumbled in there, and I walked in on them making love. I still won't eat raisins. Oh. I don't even know what that means, but people seem to laugh at it. In all seriousness, I was with my grandfather the day he died. It was a sad moment. I'll never forget his last words. Stop shaking the ladder, you little bastard. And it's kind of sad. You know, it sucked. He's a picture of health. This came from the doctors. But now, my grandparenting skills, I have sleepovers with my grandkids, and they come over to my place, and we do crazy shit. And, like, they're my #1 fans, and my daughter and son-in-law are probably my #1, you know, nemesis. They can't stand the shit I'm telling these kids. One night they're at my house, and I decided to try something. We used to play hide and go seek. Anybody in the hippie generation here, you remember black lights? You turn them off, everything's blue, and you can see everything. I said, you know, I'm going to put bulbs all over my place, black lights, and we're going to play hide and go seek, and I'm going to turn them on. So I go, what are we doing, Poppy? I said, we're going to play hide and go seek. They said, well, let's play. I said, wait a minute, I got a twist. I'm waiting for the sun to go down. The sun goes down, I go, you ready? They go, yeah. I go, click, poof. The whole place turns blue. They're oohing and on. I'm oohing and on. While I'm oohing and on, they're staring at me, and I got fucking dandruff all over my shirt. You can see some shit with those black lights. So I look down, and I'm wiping it off, and I look up, and they're running towards my bedroom. I'm like, no! That fucking DNA factory. By the time I caught them, it was too late. They looked like the girl on Poltergeist. They were just frozen. My fucking bedroom looked like a planetarium. There was shit everywhere. I was like, wow, I've done some shit. I go, hey, look, the Big Dipper. My grandson goes, Poppy, look, an electric eel. I said, get away from that tube sock. That is fucked up. But I also had to have an awkward conversation with him. I had a cat. It's funny how Kim and I have a lot of similar stories. I got to set this up a little bit. My daughter got married and had a young cat and just goes, I guess I got it in a divorce. I'm not a pet person, but I'm really not a cat person. They're beautiful pets. Cat slept in the small of my back every night. We got along. But I told my daughter, we keep getting along. I'll feed it. We'll go good. But it's not going to the vet. This fucking thing can claim a telephone pole that telks on it. I didn't do anything with it. And then one day I got sick. And I said, well, I felt really guilty. This thing kept me company for like 11, 12 years. Time to go to the vet. I had to look up online where the fuck vets were. I never took the cat anywhere. Now, bear in mind, the cat's never been out of the house. I'm bringing it out of the house. And the minute I get outside, fresh air hits, this cat locks all its claws right into me. It's claiming up my neck. I hurry to the car, open the door, fucking wing this thing off the wall. I'm hating the hell out of it now because I don't want to go to bed. I get in the car, I'm driving down the road. This fucking thing's so scared. It's running around the wall centrifugally. It's running around the car, and it jumps on the back of my neck. I'm driving. It's digging in, scratching the shit out of me. I'm punching it in the face, swerving all over the road. I get to the vet, and I bring it in, and the cat's smiling like nothing happened. I look like I shaved with a razor from the dollar store. So I drop the cat off. The vet looks at it, comes out, he said, it's not good. I saw him shaking his head. And I'm thinking, oh, fuck, I'm not spending money on this cat. I go, what is it? He said, it's going to need an operation. It's got cancer. And I said, well, how much does that cost? He said, $4,800. And you can't act like, get the fuck out, kill it. So I was like, wow, the businessman in me kicked in. I was dividing the cost of a cat like $4,800, and I'm like, fuck, I could be cat lady at that. So I said, well, what are my options? And he said, well, there's good news and there's bad news. I said, well, what's the bad news? He said, if you don't have the operation, the cat will be dead in a week. I said, geez, that's pretty harsh. I said, what's the good news? He said, it's a fucking cat, who cares? So I let it die. I'm here to tell you they don't have 9 lives. That one and done. And I had to tell that to my grandchildren. And that was tough. I introduced them to death. And there was words, it was hard to tell them because there's certain words in medical terms they'd understand, like neglect and starvation. But it was a moment between us. But I'll tell you, I had a shitty marriage, like a lot of people, I'm sure. And I married a younger girl. She was pretty at the time, But it said anybody. She looked good on my arm, younger than me. She wasn't a trophy wife, but like a participation trophy wife. But whenever I think of all the money she took from me and the divorce and everything, I think about those beautiful kids I have and the grandkids I had. And I guess you do go to hell to get to heaven, and I'm all right with that. But the divorce, holy shit. She was ruthless. And one of the last things she said was, I'll agree to everything if you pay for both attorneys. And she dragged the whole thing on, so I had to pay a ton of money. Anyone here ever been through a divorce? That's the most fun you'll ever have without laughing. It's, divorce comes from the Latin phrase divoricium, which means having your genitals ripped out through your wallet. But I decided no arbitration. I'm going to attack this bitch. I knew I had the right. We get in there, divorce court. That was my introduction to group sex. I got fucked in front of dozens of people. I was like, boy, I thought I was going to win. I had nothing coming. It was kind of like a game show. And she won. She got a house, car, cash. As a runner-up gift, I got luggage. It was packed. We split the house, I got the outside. Here's the killer. She took all my money and she cheated on me. I caught her in bed with another man. I was furious. I screamed, both of you, get off me now. I ain't having that shit. One night she meets me at the front door late at night in a see-through negligee. Sound pretty good? She was the one coming home. Jesus Christ. So I move out of the house and she brings the guy she slept with, this true story, into my house with my kids. Now, a lot of people, my good buddies from Binghamton are here. They know they would have probably bet money I would have shot the guy. But I decided to take the high road. You got kids involved and everything. And this is pretty humbling. Imagine this. I had to go to my house and ring the doorbell to pick up my kids. And this is 2 weeks after I found out she was cheating on me and I moved out. This guy's already moved in. He opens the door. He took the high road too. Hey, Eddie, how you doing? Shook my hand. Come on and make yourself at home. Eddie said, what's mine is yours. You fucking think? You're banging my wife, playing with my kids, and eating my groceries. In fact, I would have shot the guy, but I didn't want to put a hole in my pajamas. That was fucked up. So then, I'm going to take you in my sordid history of dating. It started off a little weird, and I got to realize I didn't trust women after what happened to me, so I started off a little slow. I got an inflatable doll. I know that sounds perverted, but I enjoyed it. I didn't love her, but she took my breath away. Puffing on that bitch for hours. That's actually a lie. She was an Afghani doll. She blew herself up. Yeah, I went there. I'm so old, I remember when an Afghan was an uncomfortable comforter my grandmother made. Now it's a guy that fucks goats I don't want to sit next to on a plane. Then I started dating homeless girls. Hey, don't laugh. It's easy to get them to spend the night, especially in the winter. Takes a while to get the clothes off, but got that layer system down. Then I dated a one-legged girl. Don't laugh, nice girl. The one leg she had was beautiful. And you learn a lot about geometry when you date a monoped. All these angles. But yeah, I met her. She was a waitress at IHOP. And but boy, was she kinky. One time, we're making love. I put one leg over my shoulder and the other behind the garage. Then it rained. I had her buy her a new one, and that cost me an arm, and I won't do it. No, I won't do it. Then, I got my player's card back, and I'm playing the field, and I'm trying things out, like any guy would. I was making a decent living. I lived alone. My sense of humor, I think in life people are dealt cards and play your best cards. I didn't have looks, I had a sense of humor. A lot of women fell for it. But I started off with things were going real good. And then I started creating things in my mind, and I'm not misogynistic or psycho, but I'm just being honest here. If I tell you the stories, you'll laugh. I go, you know what I want to do? I want to have sex with a woman with a first name I've never had before. That's, I was doing pretty good. I started coming up with new ideas. And then Agatha tried to kill my cat. I got back over to the Marys and the Susies. Then I'm so shallow, I said, okay, what kind of girls will I date? And I came up with a 2/3 rule. That's fucked up. Their butt, their boobs, and their face. If 2 out of 3 were good, I'd date them. I did that a while, then I came up with a new one called the 10-year rule. And that meant if I could lie about being 10 years older than the girl, she wasn't too young. So, I'll give you an example. I got rid of the program, by the way. If a girl, I'm 64, I'll be 65 in January. If I met a girl that was 45, I would have to get away with 55. Maybe I could. Again, I got rid of it, and let me tell you why. Again, the waitress. I met a buxom blonde. At the time, I was 47. She said, how old are you? I said, how old are you? She said, 34. I said, 44. We started dating. Now, I moved on in my mental midget mind. I never thought of it again. We started getting along. My daughter loved her. She kind of moved in with me. And my birthday rolled around. I'm in Syracuse on business, and I'm driving home in a snowstorm. My daughter calls me. When are you getting home? It's my birthday. And I said, well, I don't know, around 6. She goes, before or after? It's important. I said, 10 after 6. She said, perfect. I'll see you when you get here. Hangs up. Hung up the phone, and I'm like anybody with an ego my size, I'm like, a surprise party. It's about fucking time. As good a guy as I am, they're pulling together. I'm driving home, and I get to my house. I open the door, I go, surprise! Oh my God, there's nobody there. I hear my daughter in the bedroom with Laura, which was my girlfriend. And they go, don't come in, we're wrapping presents. And I'm thinking, that must be like a clown car in a circus. How many fucking people fit in that room on this party? It's gonna be great. And they come out with a cake. Laura's holding it. She was crying because I saw her mascara running down her shirt. And it had a 45 on the cake. My daughter's behind her going, I'm like, and I saw the 4 and the 5, and it hit me that she was a victim of the 10-year rule. She came out, put the cake on the counter. We all started eating. No words were exchanged. And she got up and walked out. She patched out in her car and left. I go, well, that went well. And I looked at my daughter. I go, what the fuck are you doing? Sleep with the enemy. Don't be sick. My daughter and I were like thick as thieves. My daughter's like, you're an amateur. Like, why are you lying over a couple of years? I go, it's a program. I'm on a program here. All of a sudden, I heard the car pull back up. I'm like, she came to her senses. It's all about what you're leaving behind. She's not going to leave me. She comes in with a fucking 8, a big candle 8, slams it on the cake, it goes off the wall, leaves, and I never saw her again. So I got rid of the 10-year rule. And then I came up with the 100 rule. Me and the girl, we equaled 100. She wasn't too young. And then I lived to be over 60, and that didn't work. So now I'm on the foggy mirror rule. Like if mirror fogs, I'll date him. However, I've evolved as a person. I'm not simple anymore. I think I've become more cultured. I lived in New Jersey for 5 years. That'll do it. I got a taste for diversity and lots of friends, different ethnic backgrounds. And I had a lot of Indian friends. And a girl that was a colleague of mine, her name was Ashita Patel. And I don't know where she is today. She probably would be shocked to know I'm talking about her, but she was a sweetheart. She was a pharmacist. Her father opened an Indian restaurant. And she said, we bring dignitaries into our restaurant on the first day before it's open to the public. And we'd like you to come as our honored guest. So they gave me the pajama or curtain, the long thing with the pants I had to put on and take your shoes off and everything. I'm like, eesh. So I go in there, and it's just me and 4 or 5 family members. They got a big table, and they have all the food they served. I could sample all of it, Indian food. But they were trying to curry favor, if you will. That sucked. So the guy said, hold on, before you eat, it's our culture to show our bathrooms and our kitchens. So I said, okay. So he brings me in there, and I'm thinking to myself, geez, we're barefoot. Like, how's this fucking sanitary? He shows me the kitchen, clinically clean, bathroom, clinically clean. We get back to the table, and he starts shoveling Indian food down my throat. Well, my stomach starts gurgling. I knew I was going to ruin one of them rooms pretty quick. I did. I shit in the kitchen. I'm not lying. Those pants don't hold anything. And her husband, Babu, I think there's some shit. You're a very bad man. Hey, starts yelling at me. And I don't blame. I mean, he's a lawyer, and it was a fecal matter. I'll see myself out. The exits are well lit. But they gave me another chance. They invited me to their house for dinner. I had to wear Depends. And then one day I get a call. Sheeta's dad passed away, the very guy that owned the restaurant, that showed me the kitchen and the bathroom. So I said, well, I'm going to go to the service. Now, I'm not culture. I'm from Binghamton, New York, and I'm a hayseed. I didn't know what to expect. But my boss goes, I'm going to have a meeting with you today. And I go, well, I got to run to a wake. No wake. He goes, Jesus, are you running for governor? Stop doing all this shit. I go, this is somebody I work with. All right, I go, I'll be back in no time. Whoa. I go there. You have to take your shoes off. Here, the bare feet. What's with the bare feet? I got to tell you, though, that might have been the first and last time I had the nicest toenails in the room. I've seen some shit. Holy cow, they're gargoyle nails. They had a carpet on the floor. Men on one side, women on the other. And we're laying on the ground praying to somebody, I don't know who. Up at the front, there's a casket upright with the deceased. Now you have your head down praying. Whoever the clergyman was, I don't know what they call him, would walk up and touch a row, and they would get up. I'm talking 4 hours laying there. Listening to, kind of remind me of baseball in school with the cleats on the floor. Listen to the toenails hitting the I got my head down, waiting and waiting and waiting. They tap on us. Me and Babu. We walk up there. And he said, well, come on. You know, everybody's got their head down, so I didn't feel nervous or anything. Well, you got to kiss the deceased. Yeah, that wasn't in the brochure. Like, you fucking kidding me? And then testify how you know. So they're taking pictures. We're hugging this dead guy, and the only thing I know about him is I shit in his kitchen. So Babu's hitting me. And I said, say something. I said, he's a nice guy, and I had an accident in his kitchen. Everybody looked up like, you're the guy. And they were staring at me, so I think it was either because I was the only Caucasian or they knew I was the Mad Bomber. But I could tell they heard the story. But I don't mean to slight them. They were beautiful people, and I love my Indian friends. Unless they work for Spectrum. Wow. Now, I got to tell you what. As an old man, I've gotten used to, when you call, and listen, I listen real close. The fucking menu ain't changing at all. The only people that answer the phone are sales. If you want customer service, you're going to be on hold forever. So I hit sales. Can I help? Yeah, give me customer service. They're disgusted. But I get to them quicker. So I'm pissed off at Spectrum. I get a bill. You need fucking credit references to order more than one movie. And I go, my bill's like $250 a month. I call Spectrum. Customer service. I want customer service. Hold on. They put me on hold. It's fucking Indian music. Doing, doing, doing. I go, oh shit, I'm going across the pond. Here we go. Thank you for calling Spectrum. This is Bob. I go, all right. I'll play along. This is Ramesh. I go, I'm having a problem with my cable. Yes, sorry. How are you today? Sorry. That's all they know. And you know what they do? They wear you out. You're like, fuck it, I'll keep the cable. And I go, no, I'm just going to hang up. I'm going to call and give files. But before I do, I'm going to go to Spectrum and fucking throw this equipment at them and give them a piece of my mind. So I go down there and make a scene, drop off all my equipment. Shit's all dusty and dirty. They're like, Jesus. I come home and I call files. I hit sales. Doing, doing, doing. I mean, are they even credible? They're salespeople or Indians? The girl comes on. Ever call files? This is April. With an Indian accent that I suck at. And I said, yeah, I want to get files. Well, let's see if your address gets it. I'm like, oh, I might overplay my hand at Spectrum. So I give him my zip code. Congratulations. You can get it. I said, when? Friday. What time? Not this Friday. Oh, Friday. What Friday? I'm like, fuck, I thought Spectrum had a big window between the noon and 5. And I'm like, next Friday. So I'm going a week without cable. Thursday rolls around. I call to double check on my appointment. Well, give us your zip code and we'll see. And it's April again. They're in a garage. This isn't a company. It could be. This is April. I said, yeah, hi, April. I talked to you before. Remember I made fun of the big window and you couldn't go. I go, what time are they coming tomorrow? She goes, give me your zip code to see if you can get it. And I said, we danced this dance. I can get it. Okay, well, humor me. Give me your zip code. I give it to her. Oh, I'm so sorry. You can't get cable. I said, I know, April, you fucking asshole, because I dropped my shit off at Spectrum. So sorry. I said, the only thing you know about April is it's monsoon season, and I hung up the phone. I go back to Spectrum with a hat pulled down over my eyes, and I tell them, yeah, can I help you, sir? And I'm trying to disguise my voice because it's the very guy I yelled at. I said, yeah, my twin brother has this sense of humor. He grabbed all my shit and brought it here, but I'm a happy customer. So he brings the box out and he goes, sign here, Ed. I said, thanks. He said, I knew it was you. I was like, fuck. So I still have Spectrum and I need credit references to get movies. I love this time of year. Anyone else? The fall's, I think, the best time of year. I love Halloween. I remember, it just seems like it's not as big a deal now. When we were kids, all the pranking and everything else. And now, you might see 1 or 2 trick-or-treaters, a year. where we would be one right after the other. You had to buy bags of candy and everything. But what I missed being a juvenile delinquent was all the pranks we used to do. And I remember there was this house in our neighborhood. The lady's name was Sturdivant. She was an old lady, lived alone. So I decided I was going to pull a prank. Y'all remember the dog shit in a bag trick? You put dog shit in a bag, put it on the doorstep, light it on fire, ring the doorbell, unsuspecting fool comes out, stomps on it, gets shit all over him. So I put the bag on her doorstep, I lit it on fire, and I jumped behind the bushes and giggled and giggled and giggled until the fucking door caught on fire. I didn't know she was deaf. I just figured she wasn't home. She opened the door, saw me stomping on the shit with it all over me, handed me a candy bar and said I was a dead ringer for Howdy Doody. I didn't even have a costume on. Fuck it. But I used to have a lot of fun with my brothers and sisters growing up for Halloween. And I gotta tell you what, with all the spooks, the goblins, everything, that was the only time of year I didn't believe in them or were afraid of them. You know, as a little kid, I thought I saw ghosts in the middle of the night all the time. I used to share a bunk bed with my little brother. And he slept in the top bunk and pissed the bed every night, so I think you know where we're going with this. I didn't even have pajamas. I was like a longshoreman. I had the fucking rain slicker. One night I'm fighting through a storm. I thought I saw a ghost in my bedroom. I don't know, it might have been like a bathrobe hanging from the bunk bed or something, but it was a ghost to a 7-year-old kid. So I screamed. I got to tell you, my old man fought in World War II. I used to call him Mr. Warmth, have kidding. Boy, oh boy. You know, he was tough. So I saw the monster and screamed. My father comes in the bedroom. What the hell's going on? Shut up. I said, there's a monster in the room. He slaps me. No such thing as monster. Shut up and go to bed. So I went back to bed. So I started dreaming. I saw the monster again. I started screaming. My father's like, God damn it. I told you there's no monsters. He turns on a light, pulls me out of bed by my throat. We go through every dresser drawer, under the bed, in the closet. You see a monster? You see a monster? I get to bed. So I get to bed. I start to fall asleep and I see the monster. I knew I wasn't going to wake Mr. Warmth. He was getting more aggressive with each visit. I was scared shitless. So I crawled into my parents' bedroom, under their bed to sleep. I felt so safe. They had a hardwood floor and they never dusted because when I got out, I had like a fucking rabbit on the back of my head. But I fell asleep, feeling safe as hell. And my parents engaged in adult activity. I'm under the bed. And hearing that noise, I was like, I figured it was the monster. He found me and he was fucking furious. A couple minutes later, my mom's yelling, I'm coming. I'm like, it's about goddamn time. The monster's been in my bedroom for like 4 hours. That's half true. I'll share a funny story with you. I was getting on the Northway, bottom of 87, about Tuesday morning, 8 o'clock, and I saw cones funneling, you know, like the old DWI. Anybody who knows this area, the bottom of the Northway, there's no getting out. You got to go a quarter mile just to find out you're fucked. So I'm in the funnel driving, and I'm on the phone with a buddy of mine, and I said, listen, I got to go. There's cones here. Something's going on. So I hung up the phone, dropped it on the floor. I pull up. There's an old cop, state trooper, and a young one, and they walk up to my window, and they're looking at the inspection sticker and everything. And the old cop says, pull over up ahead. I said, what for? He said, you were on your phone. I said, no, I wasn't. He said, yes, you were. I said, no, I wasn't. He said, we have a guy back there with binoculars, and he radioed ahead. I said, well, I was trying to call you to report suspicious behavior in the woods. So I pulled over, and I could see the young cop laughing. The old one was fucking still pissed. They ended up giving me 2 tickets. I go to court, and the judge calls me up to the bench and started laughing. So I think he might have wrote what I said. So I said to the judge, can I get a clever discount? I mean, he goes, pay to your right and get out of here. $220. Here's a story of my daughter. Every time I'm doing a show, please tell this story. I don't know why, but my daughter went to her prom, And I went to the boy who took her's house, and they had a mansion for pictures. It was really, I felt so out of place, you know, single dad. All these parents are there, and they're all a beautiful place, you know. And so I gave her a kiss, and off she goes with a limo with all the kids. I go back to my shack, and I'm drinking beer, watching basketball. And she calls me about 10 o'clock. Can I bring the kids over to the house? We want to drink, dance, and you're going to your room? I guess I was bad. I said, yeah. She goes, well, I need you to get us snacks. Here's a list. She's rattling off. Now, when I tell this story, I say I had 2 or 3 beers. If I'm honest, 8 or 9. I pull out of my driveway, and to go to the grocery store, I go down a small little neighborhood. It's off the beaten path. Then I get on Western Ave, and I was right there at the grocery store, and I'm like, I can handle that. I got frequent flyer miles. So I drove to the store. I get in there, and I'm loading up the cart out of nowhere. And this happens when you get older, with gravity and waste. I had to piss, unannounced. It went from not having to go to not being able to hold it like that. I'm like, oh my God. I go, where's the bathroom? The guy goes, it's closed, we're waxing the floor. First of all, who waxes the bathroom floor? But anyways, I had a decision to make. So I just bought what I had. I'm like pinching my dick. I buy half the shit she wants, and I jump in the car. I go down the road, right by Side Door Cafe. I hang a right down that little neighborhood. Hang a left on the street that goes to the driveway, and I can't take it anymore. This is a fucking true story. I pull over. It's about 11 o'clock at night. Nobody around, little neighborhood. I put the door out, and I'm pissing in the road. I feel my fingers pulling. The car's in drive. The door closes and locks, and the car takes off. Did I mention it was a company car? The car takes off. Now the street is a slight incline. It might have been going 2 miles an hour, and I don't know if you can tell I'm not real athletic, but I chased it. I was able to get ahead of it, and I'm winding up punching it, broke my hand. The car goes over a mailbox, through a garden, hits a tree, light goes on, you know, like a motion detector. I run up, take a brick out of the garden, smash the window, dive in, cut myself from my chin to my belt buckle. Got blood all over, glass in the groceries. I dive in the car, I'm thinking cops, DWI. I back out here with the lights off, I take off, I drive them out, and I get to my house. I open the door and I got the groceries, blood, glass, piss all over me. The kids are dancing and just like suspended animation. Everybody looks at me, my daughter goes, what happened to you? I said, you're not gonna believe the line at the grocery store. That happened. But I'm proud of my daughter. My daughter, 3 kids had taken college courses, got a 4.0. I'm really proud of her. But I like to write quite a bit. And my daughter was in a jam, and she asked me to do a paper for her, and I said I would. So I had something to do with the Erie Canal. There's a lot more to it, but I said, yeah, I'll write the paper. I ended up getting a 96, and she yelled at me because her GPA went down. But but I mean, it wasn't like when we were kids, you used the internet, you know? And you know what I hate about the internet? I put Erie Canal, and it said, did you mean anal? I'm like, now when I started, boom! Next thing I know, I woke up on the floor with my pants to my ankle all dehydrated. I don't even know what the fuck happened there. But it happened again. I buy Russian hockey jerseys. I'm a big fan. And I went online and said, Russian hockey jerseys. I just got the Russian hockey, and it said, do you mean hookers? Here we go again. Pow! My computer turns white. Warning, warning. You try to get on a child porn website, you need to contact Homeland Security. Home Security. I'm like, holy shit! So like most responsible people, I turned the computer around, put it towards the wall, unplugged it, and ignored it for about a week. Like this is a dream, it'll go away. About a week later, I go, you know, I kind of need this shit for work. And I got to thinking, Homeland Security doesn't care if I'm horny. Anyways, I didn't do anything. So I worked myself all up, and I called them. Homeland Security. I get through all the red tape. I said, yeah, I'm a purveyor of Russian artifacts, and I was on my computer. They go, oh, you went on the hooker site and got froze, huh? I'm like, oh, hold on, we'll transfer you to the can't fucking believe he fell for it department. I get on the phone with them, and the guy said, you didn't do nothing wrong. Here's the code. It's Russian scammers. They've made money. Because if I sent 300 to them, it would have came back on.
Yes.
So I didn't fall for it. I got it back on. So I did a show in Cleveland. My son was going to Kent State University. Him and his buddies all came to the show. And I told that joke. About 6 months later, my son called me and wanted to know if I still had the code. I come from a long line of masturbators. Business is good. It's recession-proof. Another buddy got his bounce around. I think of these stories of these people. A good friend of mine called me last year. He's one of them Civil War reenactor guys. You know that bunch. You know, they wear the shoe, they can go on either foot, eat raw food, sleep in the ground. Sounds like a Saturday to me, Saturday night. But he called me up and he said, hey, we're doing a reenactment. The Indiana 10th's coming in town and we need some standbys. Are you interested? I said, that's the fucking dumbest thing I've ever heard. No, I'm not interested. I go, you know, you've been doing this for 15 years. The Civil War lasted 4. You know, like, who's playing Lincoln? I'll shoot the fucking guy and you guys can all get back to life. He goes, you never were interested in that? And I said, no, it's fucking stupid. Then I got to thinking, wait a minute. When I was in high school, I was in a Vietnam reenactment group. We used to hide in the woods and smoke pot all day. One day we got real fucked up and attacked a nail salon. There was Charlie everywhere. Everywhere. That's fucked up. You know, when I was a kid, my friends used to always say to me, my name's Ed Daniels, they call me Eddie, Ed D, E-D, Ed, everything. Yeah, that's me, it's interchangeable, it's great and everything. And then scientists decided impotence was too long a word, and they started calling it ED. It ain't so funny anymore. Like, they all laugh at me at reunions. But I got to thinking, it could have been any one of you. You know? Anybody here named Tim? Totally immobile me? Could have been you. Pat, penis altitude trouble? Could have been any one of you, but it was me. Hey, sorry, Pat. This one goes out to Joey. I think about my grandkids and after school programs and everything. Like, I grew up in the 70s and didn't really, my dad was sick, my mom working, so I would get out of school and go home. That didn't work. I was a bad kid. So my mom, thinking she was doing something good, got me a boys club card. So it was $1.50 for a year. It had a shoestring, laminated thing that went around your neck, and me and my buddies would get on a bus and go to the boys club downtown, where we were the only white people within 5 miles. Not that that's a big deal, but as a kid that grew up in a neighborhood that didn't, interact with them a lot, it was a little intimidating, especially when we showered. But we get on that bus. Oh, you know what? It was the first time I ever saw an uncircumcised penis. Me and my buddies were calling them aardvarks. We didn't know what the fuck they were. But this bus was like Con Air, the movie. Holy shit. The irony didn't escape me. We would drive straight past the phone company where my mom worked, thinking comfortably that I'm in some kind of daycare. And these kids on the bus are arguing over the best way to stab people, and I'm like, Jesus Christ. So I get there, and the basketball court was like the exercise yard in a prison. Like, you didn't go there. That's nothing good happened there. So I went to the pool, which was a slight upgrade. There, I jokingly said kids floated by with no heads and shit, but it wasn't far off. There was a lot of amputees and like people. It looked like a bowl of vegetable beef soup, like people shit and pissed and everything. So we had this one kid. I called him Tink Tink. We were like 10, 11. Tink Tink's got to be 18 going on 40. He had no legs. They were real small, like baby legs, and a real bigger upper torso. And he ran across the tile in the pool with this like Indian jewelry, and it would go tink, 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 tink. He'd go faster, and we would be like, tink, tink, like holy shit. Like every day we would be surprised he showed up. But then he'd go out on the board, running on his hands, flips. It was unbelievable. So we got a swim team. Boy, did we suck. And it was in the winter, except Tink Tink. Our coach goes, you guys need to be dedicated like Tink Tink. You know, he's undefeated. And I think it's because he lifts weights. I said, I think it's because he's 30, but might be me. So they go, we're having a dual meet with the next town over, and we don't want to go all wet outside in the winter, you know? So we would whine, like, well, we don't want to go where there's blue pools. We're comfortable in our brown pool. Years go by. I'm living in Rochester in the late 80s. And I'm in a snowstorm in a ground round with my wife, the infamous. And in comes a couple. Very beautiful girl and a very big, muscular guy. And we sit down, and I'm telling jokes. I got the whole bar laughing. I mean, when I say whole bar, the 4 people working there, the 3 with me, and this guy and his wife look like models. They come in and sit down. So we're talking, buying each other drinks, shots, sitting through the snowstorm. And he says, you're a funny motherfucker. I said, thanks. He said, where are you from? I said, Binghamton. He said, I'm from Binghamton. Where'd you go to school? I said, North High. He said, I went to Central. And we kind of joked because we were rivals. And, you know, we were laughing, it's a small world. You know him, and it got quiet. And he said, remember the old boys club? It's like, holy fuck, you went to the boys club? He said, yeah, man. I used to go there every day. I said, me too. I don't remember you. I said, remember that fucking guy? Tink Tink? Who knew he didn't have the jewelry on anymore? I go, he fucking came in, his balls dragging across the tile. Like he had no legs, he couldn't control shit. And he ran across the board on his knuckles and would dive and shit. He goes, I remember him. He said, you remember that kid with the big head and the big mouth? I'm like, no. He knocked down his wooden leg. I'm like, fuck. I knocked on my head. Him and his wife walked away, and I thought, boy, she's enjoying those chlorine-soaked balls of his. I'll tell you, it's, I've always been that way my whole life, and my Binghamton friends could attest. I always put my foot in my mouth. But as I get older, but your personality changes. You know, you get, I'm first of all, I get paranoid. You know, like I'm not into the technology scene, and I don't want to sound like I don't like science. I mean, I'm fucking illiterate on computers. But like, I think people are spying on me on my phone, my computer, my television. And, you know, depends on what you read. But I mean, I got like fucking Band-Aids on everything. I was working in Pittsburgh, and my ex-wife was in Albany. And she said, hey, how long are you in Pittsburgh? I said, 2 weeks. She said, do you mind if I stay at your place for a week? I'm sure it sounds, you know, awkward to some of you or non-conventional, but I'm like, we get along, and I'm not going to be around. So she stays at my place. I get home, she's been gone 2 days. I open the door to my place, there's candles everywhere. You know, again, I'm paranoid. I'm gonna fucking stink? Like shit. I'm looking what she's done to the place, and I walk past the bookcase and I hear, shh. I'm like, what the fuck was that? I walk by again, shh. I'm like, holy shit. So I go around it, and I get in the chair and call my daughter. I'm like, I said, Marissa. I said, did you see Mom when she's here? She said, yeah. I said, was she acting weird? She said, she's always weird. I said, I think she's taping me. She goes, you're so fucking 7 guys ago, why would she tape you? I go, she's taping me. I said, come on over tomorrow, I'll show you. She comes over, I said, careful, I think it's motion activated. And I gotta tell you guys, I watch TV all night like that because I didn't want to be taped. My fucking neck's killing me. My daughter walks in and goes, shh. I go, there it is. She goes, you mean that electric Febreze thing she put up there? True fucking story. That's paranoid. Also, as you get older, I spend more time at the doctor's. And went to my doctor's for a visit, and he said, well, we're at the awkward part of the appointment here. I'm going to need you to take your pants off. I said, well, where do I put them? He said, over there by mine. I got to tell you, I'm never going to LensCrafter again. I really did go to my doctor, and he said to me, he checked everything, and this is a true story, and I got rid of this doctor post-haste. He said, okay, you need to lose a little weight, and we can all see that. He said, your blood pressure's a little high, your testicles are large, your good cholesterol's good, your bad cholesterol's good. I'm like, whoa, back up a minute. He said, you don't know the difference between good cholesterol and bad cholesterol? I go, the other one. He said, well, your testicles? I go, yeah. He said, they're large. I said, is there anything wrong with them? He said, no. I said, that's fucked up. Like, why would you even bring that up? So I storm out of there humiliated. I get in my car and I'm at a light thinking, this guy's been in business for like 30 years and he thought he had to tell me that? I must have some pretty big balls. So I started getting comfortable with the fact that I was testicularly enhanced. And then it dawned on me, they're fucking useless. You know, it's like getting one walkie-talkie for Christmas. You know, hey, anybody out there? They're fucking worthless. So I left that doctor and I got a new one. Very pretty Indian woman. Here we are with the Indians. I went in her office and took my shoes off out of habit and shit on the floor. I got an argument with her. Every time I go to her, she's like, oh, that's a serious problem. You're going to need an appointment. Copay. I go, then I looked at Yelp. I go, if you read this, you're a fucking asshole. I go, you're a doctor and air traffic controller. Yeah, she just sends me everywhere, but I kind of wanted to put her finger in my ass, but it's pretty cute. Did I let that out? I'm sorry. But anyways, she wanted nothing to do with it. Said my ass looked like a used coffee filter or something. I don't know what the fuck. So we reached a compromise. We decided that she'd get me Cologuard. Anybody ever done that?
Yes.
Cologuard, holy shit. So let me tell you a little bit about Cologuard. You get a box that gets mailed to your house. In it has some fluid, I call it formaldehyde, in a trifold seat thing that hooks under your toilet seat, and it screws in a Tupperware bowl with the formaldehyde. You aim the projectile in put it in the formaldehyde, shake it up, mail it back to them, postage paid, and they'll get a hold of you in a couple days. So I was like, Jesus Christ. My daughter's like, just pretend it's an Indian restaurant. You'll be able to go, all right? I'm like, shut up. So I'm all excited. I ate a lot. I want to be ready. I put the thing together. I screwed in the bowl. I put the formaldehyde in it. And I'm reading the directions with one leg in the air. That's the thing. I'm looking back. I want to make sure I made the basket. And on the thing it said, don't do it on Friday. It was Friday. I'm like, shit! I'm prairie dog, and I had like a fucking surfboard. I was like, Jesus! And you know, I had to unhook the thing while I'm holding on. Monday came, I decided to start again. I screw the thing on, I climb over the bowl, bingo. The projectile goes into the bucket, hits the fucking side of it, and sticks there like a barnacle. Holy fuck, guys. I put the formaldehyde in, I shook it, I rattled it, nothing. By the time I got it out in the mail, the top part that wasn't submerged was white, like cat poop when they're sick. All dried up, and the bottom part was looking fine. Now I gotta mail it. Holy fuck. This big deal. I'm proud guy, and I just don't like, you wouldn't know me up here talking about all these body functions, but I didn't feel comfortable. So I knew at Staples, they would mail shit. So I went online, and the postage is paid. I went online, and Staples is open at 8 o'clock, the next town over. I get the ball cap again over my eyes that I had at Spectrum, and I'm waiting in the parking lot. 8 o'clock hits, I see the manager open the door. I got this fucking thing. Of course, Cologuard being Cologuard, they advertise it. We've been mailing shit for 40 years. It's all colored, look like a bowling ball box. So I got the two-tone turd in the box, and I go in there and I open the door and I look to the left, and there's an alley with a laundry basket for outgoing and a scale and like an 18-year-old girl. She goes, "Can I help you, sir?" And I'm like, "Oh, there's really no need to see this. It's postage paid." She said, "You want to insure it?" Here's where the comedian kicks in. I was like, "It's not worth shit." She said, "Anything in there explosive?" I said, "It's been disarmed." She mails it out. Cologuard's texting me like my car warranty expired. They're fucking blowing up my phone. Or I drank water at Camp Lejeune. They're just bugging the shit out of me. And I'm like, why did my doctor not call me yet? So my doctor calls me like a week later. She goes, "Come on in, I'm going to go over the results." So I'm like, I'm dying. They waited 7 days. And so she pulls me in. She says, I go, "What is it?" She said, "I got good news and bad news." I said, "What's the bad news?" She said, "You have feline cancer." I go, "Is it the white poop?" She goes, "Yeah." I said, "What's the good news?" She said, "You're a fucking cat. Who cares?" Thank you, guys. I appreciate it. Kim Cutta. There you go, guys. Thank you. Thank you very much, everybody. Drive safe.